Magandang umaga, gising na, Pilipinas. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 40th and final day of our Bible Boost Bible study series. Today is all about having good hearts, good deeds, and doing good things. And that really is what this entire 40-day series has been about, is helping us as disciples to be the best that we can be. And the scripture I'd like us to look at to finish out is in Luke chapter 8, verse 15. And Jesus in verse 15, after giving the parable of the sower, says, "But the seed on good soil," and that's you. You're in the good soil, but you got to stay in the good soil. It stands for those with a noble and good heart. That's you. You have a noble and a good heart. Though sin can get the best of us and we can battle doubt and discouragement, you have a good heart. That's why you're watching this. And there's a nobility to you. You want to do the right thing. You want to have a good heart. You want to have good deeds, and you want to do good things for God. And I'm very, very proud of every single one of the disciples here in the Metro Manila Church. It says that you hear the word, you retain it, and then by persevering, you produce a crop. We all hear the word, and we've got to make sure that every day we're hearing the word. But then we've got to retain it. We've got to meditate on the scriptures, but then we've got to persevere. We've got to push through the trials and challenges that life's going to offer for the rest of your lives. If you're young, it's great. God has spared you from so much sin, but you do have an entire lifetime of self-denial. If you're older, you have to live with the consequences of the sin that you gave into in your life. But you don't have as long of a life of denial as the younger people do. Either way, God is awesome. We have to strive to have good hearts, good deeds, and do good things. And that's what the scriptures are all about. 2 Peter chapter 1. God's power has given us everything we need. Trust the Bible. It gives us everything that we need. And we need to make sure that we go after it so we don't become nearsighted to where we only see what's in front of us and we lose sight of what? I want to go to heaven. Philemon is such a great example of a man who was a disciple, and he had a great heart. He did good deeds and he did good things. And of course, 1 John talks about that whatever we do for the least of people, be it in prison or homeless or in need, we're doing it for God. We do good things because we love God and we're grateful for what he's given us. I think about for me, I think about when I had become a disciple. I've been a disciple for about 8 months. I went on the mission team to LA about 4 months after becoming a disciple. I came back home to Portland for my graduation from high school. And at that time, I was struggling a little bit spiritually because of my circumstances. My faith did not overcome it. And so I got pulled into different sins that I've shared about before in the past. And I even came to a point where the thought of falling away entered my mind. And I'll never forget, it was after I messed up badly and given into drug use, smoking marijuana, that while I was high, a sister that I was not that close to, but she was kind of like my ate, she called me because she knew that I was having a hard time. She didn't know the sin that was going on. She didn't know as far as details where I was at, but she knew just by seeing me at church that I wasn't joyful like I should be. And so just out of a goodness of heart, she called me and she said, "Hey, I just want to check on you because you seemed like you were a little down on Sunday. Are you okay?" And I lied to her on the phone. I told her, "Yeah, I'm fine." But in that moment, I realized the people around me in that moment, I didn't want those people in my life. Those were people that were devoted to evil deeds, evil hearts, and were doing evil things. And in that moment, I made a decision. I will never get to this point again in my relationship with God. Never again. And so I remember 10 years later when I went to take over a ministry and she was hurting in her faith. And I shared in my sermon that she didn't know until that day that's the impact she had in my life. And I shared that and she began to cry. I began to cry. And there was such a joy because we knew that what bonded us together was that we love God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And so today, I want to encourage you. Let this not be the end of a good 40-day Bible series for you. Let this be the beginning of great things that you're going to do in your life with God. The challenge for today from today's Bible study and devotional was very simple. Don't stop here. Have a plan for what you're going to read for your quiet times. If there are parts of the Bible you've not read, I want to encourage you to immediately finish reading the whole Bible. If you've read the whole Bible, maybe there are specific themes or topics you're struggling with. Read every single scripture there is on overcoming that area of your life. My brothers and sisters, this is just the beginning. You see, the fourth soil taking root and beginning to grow, that was just the beginning. It was going to yield 30, 60, 100 times what was sown. And that is the plan that God has for your life. But it starts with each and every one of us today, right here, right now, making a decision for the rest of our lives to devote ourselves to having good hearts, good deeds, and every day till the day we die, doing good things for those around us, but most of all, for our God in heaven. Because after all, I just want to go to heaven. Have a great day.